The next is from Luke Ryan. And the subject is Chris Jericho trashing Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. At TakeOver 31, we had Balor versus O'Reilly in a really good yet stiff match. Seems like it was stuffed forearms or kicks, which caused teeth to be knocked out and jaws to be broken. So who wanted to trash this? Your boy Chris Jericho. Once again, the biggest name of AEW is arguing with some kids online about NXT versus AEW, and he bashed them for not working safe. Isn't Jericho the guy who denied that Matt Hardy was injured at the last AEW show PPV despite Hardy not being able to stand and his head turning purple? I get that he's coming onto the show soon, so I'm not expecting burial, but I'd love to know your take on this. Nobody works safe these days. Bro, you can just watch these shows. Veterans like Jericho will put their hand up to protect themselves when they're getting kicked and stuff. And bro, everybody and their mother does not protect themselves in wrestling today. It's just it's industry wide. It's not the NXT. It's just everybody is just very reckless with their offense. And it's like it needs to be toned down because stuff like this bro, these knees, these what do you call when you run at the guy with the knee and stuff?
Well, it used to be a shining wizard,
V triggers, right?
V trigger.
Bro,
yeah.
you're good. For number one, Cena got his face smashed by it. Okay, Balor's had his jaw broken. I've seen a guy at an FSW show get his cheek crushed. Okay, it's common sense. Everybody is doing this running knee, and the quality of work across the board is not good enough to where 100% of the time it's going to be safe. And like these little cracks in the armor where we have guys screw it up, you get seriously hurt because you're kneeing somebody, and that's serious right there. You get kneed. Like knees are knockouts in Ultimate Fighting.
Yeah.
Usually when you knee a guy in the jaw, you break his jaw and he's knocked out.
In a street fight or something, you grab someone by the head and you drive your knee up into their face, they're going to them up. There's no two ways about it. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think this Luke Ryan gets worked by Jericho a little bit because he does write in about him here and there and complain about this Twitter stuff.
Oh, he does?
He's being a heel to non-AEW fans. He's being a heel towards NXT marks so that they get all worked up and pissed off at him because he's on Balor and O'Reilly. That's all. It's good for his company.
You got a comment, Conan?
No, I just think hearing what Joe said, he always says, yeah, we don't really, WWE, you pay attention to your business and I'll pay attention to mine, but yet he's talking about theirs. So at the end of the day, bro, they both are following what the others are doing. That's why Lana got buried after Miro's promo, and that's why WWE was paying outlandish sums so people wouldn't jump to AEW and moving NXT to Wednesdays, and Jericho calling himself a demigod, which is actually a shop for the 18 to 49 demo. They're both knowing him, and they love it because the fan base for AEW loves it when he buries WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and bro, and it's also kind of because I remember when I talked to Jericho right before he signed, his whole thing was like, Vince just sees me in one place and he looks at me as like a 47-year-old guy, like he kind of like what Vince did with Mach and Hulk, where he maybe thought they didn't have any more gas in the tank, and then they went to WCW and they still had some left. You know what I'm saying? I think he might have looked at Jericho like that, not understanding Jericho still had a lot left in the gas tank. So it's real good to tell your ex-boss, yeah, suck it. You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing with Jericho is that, they've, the clique, Nash, Hunter was part of the clique, Hunter, Sean, and stuff. They've always been like, they haven't really had a lot of, I don't want to call it respect, but they haven't thought too much of the guys that were smaller. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how talented they were.
Which
you know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
It's like, I mean, it is, because like some guys, because here's the thing, we've had guys, then I'll say this. I will say this though. I will say that you'd be better off with a lot of bigger guys. Because back in the day, like, and technically that's kind of what you want, because we know bigger guys, especially bigger guys that know how to work, will draw. They're beyond their thinking. But smaller guys that are very talented on the mic and in the ring can also draw. Okay, but I think where the cutoff comes, and where the I don't even want to call it problematic is that let's do this. Let's go over some of the best undersized wrestlers of all time. Okay, Eddie Guerrero,
Ray,
Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho. And I'm just talking about the top of the food chain, right?
Right.
Okay, because I think the thing is, you can take those guys, okay, and inject them into this picture. Because they're so talented, they can work with bigger guys and stuff and all that. But then because you have guys like this, okay, and they are talented, when you start filling up the rest of your card with like smaller guys that aren't as talented as these guys, I think the product kind of diminishes a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you'd rather have a bunch of big guys and your undersized guys to be like really, really, really good workers. And you really wouldn't want a bunch of guys that are like medium sized that weren't really that good as them. Because what would you really need them for? You know what I'm saying? You'd rather have bigger guys because you want your product to look larger than life. Do you think there's anything to that?
Not really. I just think at the end of the day, I just try to find as many talented people, regardless of size or height. To me, I'm just I'm the guy that pushed Rey Mysterio when he was like 140 pounds and everybody laughed at me. Mm-hmm. So to me, talent is talent. When I was small, everybody was talking about, oh, this is the baddest guy and this is the toughest guy. To me, it was Bruce Lee. He was just a small mother, but he could go. And when you look in boxing and the all the money that guys like Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya and Chavez, and you look at UFC, Conor McGregor, and I mean talent just comes in all sizes. So I'm not a big mark for bigger is better. You do have to have bigger guys on your roster for the reasons you just said. But to me, I just look for all sizes.
Conan, where did you get that shirt? The shirt, Iranian Tobacco shirt.
This was an MLW shirt when I used to do their podcast. Since I used to say I was on Iranian Tobacco.
Yeah, I remember that.
People wanted this shirt, so yeah.
I got the Boom shirt from.
Yeah, I got one of those too. Sweet.
Next
thank you for your patronage, Joe. Thank you.